welcome to the Fashion Grunge podcast. This is your host, Lauren. I'm really excited today to be reviewing Reality Bites with Jai. She's here.
Hi.
Yeah, so we're stoked. I guess this is, I don't know, week whatever under quarantine. We're in, I guess, like a month. It's been about a month since I've been like out and about. So how are you doing, Jai?
I'm well. I mean, as good as you can be.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Yeah, I mean, still like really weird. Sometimes like I wake up and I think, well, oh wait, like what? I'm not working today. Like, oh yeah, there's all this going on. I feel like I know I probably sound like an airhead when I say, oh, today is my beauty day. Today I'm doing collage and drawing, but I feel like you kind of had to like just not fuck with like all day long on what's going on and like try to distract yourself with activities. And so like that's what I've been doing. It's not that I don't care about what's happening, but I feel like it affects me quite a lot if I just sit down and like really take it in, you know?
Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, even when you turn to the news, even if I'm scanning and I'm gonna watch something else, and or even if I'm on the and listen to the radio, like it just hits you in 5 minutes. They just keep talking about like this country or this state and how bad it is, and we don't have this, we don't have that. I was like, oh my gosh, like,
Yeah.
and it's a lot to deal with. So yeah, I can understand just
I
wanting
feel like,
to.
the thing is I actually like don't really listen to news that much except that in the morning. Like that's it.
Yeah, to find
But
out what's going on.
but I actually what happens is that I have my laptop on all day pretty much, and then it's just so easy to just like search and just like check out what's happening in other parts of the world, and that's when you're like reading and like have access to so much information that is not necessarily like discussed in the news, like
Yeah, that's
stuff that's
true.
happening in the UK, and I don't know, in Italy and stuff. So because I feel like now the like news in the US I just focus on the US. They don't talk about
Yeah.
what's happening anymore in Italy, what the situation is there now.
In
It's
Spain,
just
I think,
purely
and
politics
France.
and what
Yeah,
Trump is
like
doing, and what
yeah,
he isn't doing.
it's
um,
so nuts, but gosh. I mean, well, we're here to talk about Reality Bites, so I hope everyone else is, hanging in there. I guess we don't wanna get too down,
yeah.
'cause we're trying to, I guess, take your mind off of it. As of the airing of this show, it is available on HBO to watch Reality Bites, so hopefully, if you have HBO or someone you know has it, get their code and friggin' watch it because it's really good. So yeah, we're gonna talk about Reality Bites. It's from 1994, and it's directed by Ben Stiller. Yes, the actor Ben Stiller, who's also in it. So, Jai, what are your like opening thoughts? Like, when did you first see it?
I first saw it last night.
Oh, I thought you'd seen it before.
Yeah, I thought I had seen it before too, but as I started watching it, I realized like this is not familiar at all. Like
Oh,
I
wow.
was like, no, I definitely haven't seen it. I mean, it's possible that I did, but I don't think so because I don't remember anything at all. Like I remember maybe seeing the poster or like the kind of
Oh,
movie
yeah, like the
advertised
cover.
because it's
Yeah.
so like iconic, but I don't think I've actually like I had watched it until last night. And it was like a real treat. It
Oh,
was.
that's so great. Oh, this is gonna be even more interesting that we're getting a kind of new take on it. Because I thought because we were originally gonna do this podcast with our other friend Jules too, and she I don't think has seen it at all. And I was like, okay, well Jai has seen it at least once or twice, so it'll kind of be like kids. It'll kind of be like the
Yeah,
same setup where I know it well, and then everyone has whatever. And now I had to find out that you haven't seen it. Wow, this is like and now I'm really excited to hear your thoughts about it.
I know. It's actually really weird. How have I like lived without watching this film?
Yeah,
It's
have you ever seen Singles?
I don't know.
I would be surprised if you had. It's kind of, I don't want to say it's underground, but this is, I guess, kind of a tidbit about Reality Bites. Is Singles came out in '92. Grunge fact here: Nirvana was asked to be on the soundtrack, and they said "fuck no." And okay, the
Wow.
film is, yeah, and I have this film. It has a bit of a controversial like kind of tidbit to it. We will definitely review it. Someone on Instagram DM'd me and was like, "Oh, you should talk about Singles too." And I was like, "Yeah, I will." It's written by Cameron Crowe, the same guy who wrote Almost Famous and like a bunch of other
Oh,
shit.
cool. Okay,
Yeah, and
yeah.
it's about like kind of an apartment building in Seattle in early '90s, so it's like '91 when they film it, and like these like kind of love triangles that happen in and around this like in this one particular building. But like Matt Dillon's in it, and he kind of plays like an Eddie Vedder type character, and Eddie Vedder and Pearl Jam are in the film. Like
Oh,
in one
cool.
scene, they're like sitting in this bar and they're talking to Matt Dillon because they're like in a band, and like it's kind of making fun of the scene, but then it's also like using the scene. Like it uses a lot of like Seattle grunge kind of memorials at the time, like in the movie and stuff. It's funny, it's cool, but it's very much kind of like you know what I mean? It's kind of like cheesy. It's kind of like the movie industry wanted to make money off grunge, and
Oh, I
like
see. Yeah,
Smashing
more
Pumpkins has,
commercialized. Yeah.
yeah, it's like super commercialized because it's done by like a studio. So that's why Nirvana was like, no, like we were asked to be on that soundtrack, and we were like, fuck
That's
no.
pretty cool though, but they said no because
Yeah, yeah,
you know.
but it bombed at the box office. So this is kind of like what happened with Reality Bites, is that this was kind of another like Gen X movie that I think a lot of movie studios didn't want to like fund it because they were like, this is going to be like Singles again, which was a bomb because
Mm.
people didn't see Singles. I don't think even now it's like seen as, it's kind of one of those like, but I own it because I have lots of like random '90s movies. But I was like,
You're the
yeah.
90s queen, Lauren.
I mean, I'm not a queen. There's a lot of things I still haven't seen, but I guess I really, I mean, I have a lot of DVDs and stuff. I really like movies a lot. But yeah, so that's really interesting about that. And we should see Singles. I'd be really excited to see your thought of Singles because it's like kind of funny, but it's like you like Cameron Crowe because you like Almost Famous. So
Yeah, yeah, I do.
like,
I
yeah.
like that film a lot.
Oh yeah, okay.
Um,
So what were your thoughts on it? Sorry
yeah,
for
I
that
mean,
like
I
story.
really liked it. I mean, it feels really weird to see a film that it's kind of old and you had never watched before. Like, I don't think that
Mhm.
many movies that I haven't seen. I mean, very different genre. Like, I think I missed on a lot of kind of American
Yeah, I was gonna
movies
say.
from the 90s. Like, I think
Mhm.
I wasn't really my thing. I wasn't really into that. Like, um, yeah, I was kind of like a weirdo. I used to be more into like independent film and like foreign films and
Well, yeah,
like,
I was gonna say because you like basically during that time you were in England, right?
yeah, I mean,
So
I
I would
watched,
be, yeah. I'm
yeah,
sure I would be.
you
Yeah.
know, you have access. I mean, back then remember like lovefilm.com? Do
No,
you
I
have
don't
that
think
here?
so.
So
No,
it
I
was
don't
like,
think so.
I think it's like, I'm not sure if it was bought by Amazon, but they were this very first sort of like before Netflix. You know, this is like you used to get movies mailed to you. You used
Yeah,
to
I
like,
remember when Netflix was like that, but I don't think we had this website.
yeah. So I wonder if it was just like a UK thing.
Could be.
But also we used to stream back then, so we used to just
Yeah.
like download things and
LimeWire, Kazaa.
LimeWire. Oh my god, yes, yeah, I remember. And then your laptop will be crashing, and you're like, "What
Crashing all the
happened?"
time, yeah.
This is before I had an Apple, obviously, because Apples are the best and they don't crash. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Still performing.
Um, but yeah. Anyway, going back to the film. Yeah, I it was really cool. I mean,
Cool. I'm
I
really
love
excited.
the cast. I love the actors. I love the story as well. I feel like
Mhm.
it really takes you back to being that age, like just like how you saw the world when you graduate, like from university, and like I don't know, like you have sort of existential like kind of problems, and like everything's so intense, and you kind of think you have it all figured out, and I mean, it's part of being 22, like 21, 23, or whatever age. You're 21, right? Is it you're 21 when you graduate here?
Yeah, yeah. Like
Yeah,
university,
yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, it's just really cool. and the music is
So
so
exciting.
fun. Yeah, I mean,
Oh
let's get
yeah.
to that, but I loved it. Thank you so much for the recommendation, and
Oh wow. Okay, cool. If
yeah,
you like this, then I have a lot of other things you'll probably like too. Yeah, I first saw this movie when I was 16. I was like I mean, I guess it was maybe like 90, what was that, like 96? Or like no, 98, 99, something like that. So it'd been out for like a while. I remember like renting it on tape and I was like, "Oh, this movie's so cool." And then I didn't really think about it again until I think I was buying DVDs and I bought the DVD for like the 10th. I think the one I have is like the 10th year. So that was like '04. And then I watched it again and I was like that age, like 22, 23, and I was like, this is so, yes, like this is so my life.
yeah.
But
Did you feel that? Did you like? Did
oh
you
yeah,
relate
like
to it?
even
Yeah,
now, I mean, I feel like even now, I feel like that film was made for like a Gen X. So they're made for people who are technically like 10 to like 15 years older than we are.
yeah,
Because at that age, like we were really young. We were like 10 when they're like 22 or whatever they are. So like but the thing is that I feel like the whole message and the whole story is something that even like millennials can relate to, and probably even the generation now, because
I don't
now
know. I wonder, like the generation now, though. I feel like millennials. I mean, you and I are technically
yeah, we're
millennials,
like
but
old millennials, yeah.
I definitely like could relate to this when I was that age. But I don't know. I mean, like honestly, sorry, but like they don't really like kids nowadays. They don't really struggle in the same way that we did. Like
I guess, yeah, it's a
with
different
like social
way.
media and like tech and like everything like that we
Yeah,
have
that's
now,
true.
they don't have to go through the same process that we did, like apply for jobs and you have to
Yeah, that's
mail
right. Yeah,
a
when she like doesn't
CV.
have a job.
Well, you
Yeah.
call it a resume here, but we call it CV. I know it doesn't make sense, but yeah. um
Yeah.
and you know I mean, can you imagine like now people use DM on like emails and like
I guess so. Yeah, people don't even email anymore. I guess
they don't
not.
even email. Yeah, exactly. So I feel that, I mean, you
Have you
wouldn't
seen
get by.
have
Shut
you
up.
seen Cruel Intentions?
Yes, I've seen that. Yeah.
It was on TV the other day, and it was funny because something like in the film, I think Ryan Phillippe's talking to the guy that's in Save the Last Dance. I forgot his name, and he says like, no, like he's like, Ronald, you can't send her an email. Email is for geeks and pedophiles. And he's like, write her a letter. And then I was like, letter? I was like, oh, that's right. This is like late 90s when email was like really weird and like sketchy.
Yeah.
Like nobody really had it. And now it's like people don't even email. Like that's just what
I
your
mean,
parents do.
I think it's crazy. Like now, like people like the fact that someone is messaging them on Instagram just to get like they send their profile, because like that your like Instagram profile sometimes is more valuable than your resume and not your resume and your experience. So
Yeah, it is
people,
now.
and I catch myself doing that too. I have the weirdest thing. Like today, I got an email from this guy asking to be an assistant. Like he basically like I don't know how he's. I don't actually know much about him because it was a really weird email, and he's like, "I would love some assistance. Like, sorry, I would love to be your assistant." And I keep thinking, I'm gonna message him and be like, "Where can you send me your Instagram profile?" And that's terrible. But even
Yeah.
I'm doing that because I feel like it would tell you more about the person and like what they do and that kind of thing. I don't know.
That's
And
true.
now email feels weird because you can't see them. You can't
No,
see
and
what they're up
anybody can
to.
write anything. Yeah, and you could just write anything,
So yeah,
like
I definitely don't think Gen C can't relate to this film. They
yeah,
probably
I
think
guess
that it's
not in
weird.
that way, but I'm thinking of like the whole like I don't some of them don't have I mean now with the way the situation's going to be after the world kind of like tries to restart, like colleges are going to be weird, like jobs are going to be weird. It might not be in like the same exact way, but it certain things I think like whether or not to sell out or not, like that's a big thing. I think they still kind of like deal with that. But,
Yeah,
in a different way, I guess,
in a different way.
just
Yeah.
without tech, like,
I
the
mean,
base, emotion, I
I
guess.
think it'd be cool to ask someone who's like significantly younger than us, like
It'd be
what
cool.
they
We should
think of
ask
the
Jules'
film.
sister.
This is why we needed Jules to watch it.
Yeah, or Jules' sister, who's like
Oh
18.
yeah,
Yeah, we
yeah.
should ask her. Well, we'll totally ask her. Which is weird because Jules' sister had seen kids too before Jules did
Oh
when we did the
wow.
kids episode, which is really weird. Yeah, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe like your sister was like, yeah, I've seen that already. What are you talking about? You haven't seen that yet? And she's like younger than you are. I was like, that's pretty funny. I have like, yeah, oh yeah, this totally reminds me of my college apartment, even though I wanted this apartment, but this totally reminds me of my college apartment.
Oh wow.
But I lived at the beach in Long Island, which was super cool. And then like commuted into the city to like go to work and stuff, and go to my internship. And yeah, this is totally like the job I had after university. I was like, for a while, I did like freelance. Like I would assist stylists on shoots, but not fashion. It was like prop stylists,
Oh cool.
like
Yeah.
I used to like intern for a food photographer. So sometimes they would like hire people out to do shoots and stuff like that and like help, help on the shoot. So it's really weird seeing everything that goes into food photography and like the prop styling, like it's like a whole thing. And they're like super anal about things. So it was weird when I would go home and they would be like, "Oh yeah, we'll give you a ride home." And then I would tell them I lived at the beach and they'd be like, "Oh, no." Like only one road like in or out and it would take so long to get there and I used to take the train and then I have to walk back to my house and they were like, "Oh no. We'll take you to Penn Station."
Wait,
Like,
so you didn't have roommates?
no, I did. I had a roommate for the first half because we both were in school like one semester longer because I
Yeah.
think we both double majored or something like that. So for after senior year, we were like, "Oh, let's go get our own apartment." So then we got an apartment for like that summer before senior year or like the last semester after senior year, I guess. And then she left and went back home. She wasn't from another state. She went back home and then I stayed in my apartment like at the beach for another like 6 or 7 months. So that's when I first lived alone. I was like 21, I
Yeah.
guess, 22. It was kind of weird, but yeah. Yeah, I lived
Yeah,
at the
that's
beach
so young
until like
to
the
live
next
on your own. That's
yeah, until
crazy.
like the next summer. But like no one would even move in with me. I lived so far. Like, I mean, even like getting people to like hang out there was really hard.
Oh.
But in the summer, it was way I had a car though. In the summer it was way easy because I lived at the beach, like the literal beach. So
That's cool.
people would come and like hang out and there was a frat house across the street.
Yeah.
I have a lot of really funny stories about living at the beach in Long Island, but it's a fucking trip. But yeah, my apartment was like that. It was like in a house, and it was like
Yeah.
the top floor of a house, like the place they live in. Reality Bites. It's like a
Wow, that's cool.
big house. Yeah, it's really cool.
Did
But
you
yeah,
like do you like did that ever happen to you that where you have like I don't know, like your roommate will be your best friend and then you'll be in love like you were in love with him or something like
no,
that? No.
no, I never
Because
lived with.
you didn't really have many flatmates like the
No,
first
I
time,
had
right?
No, no, no. At that time, after school, I didn't. And then, okay, there I had my roommate from college, and like, no, we were just about like best friends. And then she just moved like out of state when she graduated. Then after that, I only had apartments that was like me and one other person. There were usually girls. Like I didn't
Okay,
live with
yeah.
a guy. Like, and especially in New York, it would be like it's a lot when you live with like three or four other people. I had some friend
Well, I
people.
guess like apartments are a lot smaller there as
Oh
well.
yeah, way smaller,
So
especially in New
yeah,
York. Yeah, it's like I wouldn't
yeah,
want to live that close with the guy. He was my friend. It's just like it's really close, like it's
yeah.
more than like a dorm room.
In the UK, you have a lot of flatmates. Like it's crazy because like so
But they're like nice
many.
houses.
Well, yeah, because like a house, like a Victorian house, which is like this houses have like 5 bedrooms. A lot of them. So I mean, I only lived in threes and twos. Like I never lived. I actually am lying. I did live with like three others at some point.
Oh
Two boys,
wow.
it was 2 boys, 2 girls, and yeah, I mean, I didn't have like a roommate that I was in love with, but
No.
I was in love with my best friend, and like the whole thing. I mean, that's what really spoke to me about the film. Is like they really captured that sort of dynamic, like when you live with someone and like he's your, even if you don't live with them, but they're, he's
Oh,
your,
I've had that, but not lived with them. Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah, I've had
same. I
that.
have that. I
Yeah,
didn't
but
live
not
with
lived.
him. And then you're like, oh no, like, do we go for it? But then it's gonna ruin the friendship and all of that. And yeah, it's pretty cool. I definitely felt like I was 20 all over again when I watched it.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
That's so exciting. Yeah, I mean, what did you like? I guess I don't have that as much for production notes. I think we just like kind of hit on it early, but that Ben Stiller did it, which I thought was really cool. And then I know that
Yeah.
Ethan Hawke or Winona Ryder like was insistent that Ethan Hawke be in it with her because she was a really big
Oh,
fan
cool.
of it. So that was pretty cool. And
Yeah.
then Janine Garofalo, Ben Stiller knew from his show, so that's how she came on as Vicky. And then I think Steven Zahn, I think I read that he like really liked it and he really wanted to be that character. But originally Troy, Vicky, and I think I forgot what his name is. Steve Zahn's character, the one who's gay. I
Oh,
forgot what
yeah.
Sammy.
I know
Like
it's
those,
terrible because I feel
they
like
had
he's
more of a
not that
story.
important in story. So like I
Yeah,
don't. Yeah.
they had more of a storyline, and apparently Bill, not Bill, what's his name? Ben Stiller was like really focused on the love triangle between like him, Ethan Hawke, and Winona Ryder. That like that's what they wanted to focus on in the film because they didn't have time to tell like all these multiple stories. So that's why they are like, especially Sammy's character. I thought it was so in the beginning. I thought Sammy was going to be like a gay character. It's 94. Like, I just kind
Mm,
of thought he wouldn't just have one thing where he was just coming out to his mom and then like that's it. But he was like
yeah.
kind of around. It's weird.
Yeah. I feel like they could have like explored that a bit more. It would have been
Mhm.
like quite. It would have made it quite interesting, to see that.
Yeah, definitely.
But I guess the 90s, like the early 90s, it was probably not like people weren't very open to that.
No, but it's really cool that they had Vicky in the same situation that we had in Kids where she was doing the AIDS test.
Oh
That was
yeah, I
another kind of
know.
like like sign of the times is that everyone was getting HIV test and it was very like safe sex like that was like a very huge push
Yeah,
in a lot of things, so that was
but I
pretty
feel
interesting.
like every generation that applies to every generation, like
Yeah,
from the 90s, like or 80s. Yeah, I suppose 90s.
yeah,
Um,
it's like pretty 90s. I feel like to have like safe sex like that's like the main point of it, of
well, I
like
mean that was like when we were in school too, though. Like,
yeah, but I don't know about
yeah,
now. I mean, now
I
they,
don't know. Yeah,
yeah, but I feel like we used to just hear it a lot. Like even if it
yeah,
was like even if you were watching like a sitcom and like the mom would be giving the daughter a talk and then she'd be like, "Well, like, she'd really stress like safe sex." That was like the thing. It was, I mean, it's not that it was weird, but I guess it was normal back then because it was like HIV and AIDS was like spreading to everyone.
yeah,
And it wasn't as like in the 80s as they thought. So then it was like, oh shit, we have to tell these young kids, like teenagers and stuff. That's like that's really weird. I
I
was
mean, I
thinking
feel
about my
like
sister's life about this.
now they're so open. Like, there's so much out there. I feel like they're more. I don't know. They don't. It's just easier now. I think like there is not much of a taboo now, like sex and stuff like
No,
it
no, yeah,
was when we were younger. Like
yeah.
I don't know. Yeah,
It's
I don't
super
think.
weird.
I don't even think I got the talk. I don't even think that happened.
I didn't, yeah. I mean, I don't remember any specific like TV movie type talk, like how you always see on TV.
Yeah, but what was really cool, I don't know in the US, but in the UK, like you don't need your parents to like. You could just go to there's like a sex health clinic. They're everywhere, and you can just walk in any area. It doesn't you don't need to be like
I think
registered
I
or
think
anything like that.
now you can, but I don't think in when I was young you could.
Yeah, yeah. When
Yeah,
I
I
was
think
when I
now you
was
can.
17, 16, you totally could. That's why people were having so much sex because they were like, oh well, I can just go to the clinic and get whatever.
Yeah, that's true. I feel like people just seem to be more educated. Like I guess like I don't I think
Yeah,
we're Americans are really puritanical. Like they're
Totally.
very like, like prudish when it comes to a lot of stuff. In
Yeah,
ways and then in ways not. It's really strange. It's
it's
like
really weird. Yeah.
it's not as obvious as you would think it would be. It's not like, oh my god, we're totally prudes, but like in other ways we're not. I guess as like an American like stereotype, but it's super weird. Yeah, that they're kind of like hush us up with like, you know, okay, yeah, you can have condoms, but don't like put them in schools. Like they're it's really weird. Like they tell you about safe sex, but they don't like have them in school because
Oh,
that then it seems like you're, like encouraging people.
yeah.
So it's like I don't know, like they don't. It's weird. It's really weird. I don't know what they do now.
Yeah, that is weird. I mean, I also love that Vicky like has a list, and
Oh
she
yeah.
like I feel like we all have a friend or had a friend who did that, who was a bit like that, you know?
I have a friend who is still like that and does not keep a list, but I don't know where they are at this point. But yeah, it's kind of funny.
Yeah,
Like
it
the
is
real life Samantha from Sex and the City.
totally, yeah, which is cool. I mean, in a way, like
Yeah, it's so cool.
it's like,
I could never do it.
why a man isn't seen as a slut when they're like,
The age
sleeping
old
around
question.
and whatever, but then when a girl does it, it's like, oh,
Yeah.
But I think things change a bit, right?
I mean, yes. I mean, I would say yes and no, but I feel like in reality, I don't know. Like we see it a lot in like pop culture and in TV, but I feel like in the real world, I don't know. I don't want to say
Mm,
that it's totally equal. I
yeah,
feel like it is when you see things written and you're like, "Oh wow, she's a great character. She's written this way." But in real life, if someone's like that, I mean, I don't know. Like I don't I don't know. I mean, I'm not it's not my bag, and I'm any person that I know is kinda like that, they don't tell me that, like, anything
yeah.
weird has happened to them. I don't know.
Well, maybe for anyone who's listening to this podcast and they're
Yeah.
under the age of 21, please message Lauren and tell her your experience.
Yeah, don't no,
We want to
don't tell me
know,
your
like,
yeah, yeah, I'm curious. Make up in, like, an anonymous, like, Instagram or something,
yeah,
so, like, I won't know who it is.
yeah. Maybe do a poll on it.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. Yeah, we'll do a poll since we did a poll on this one and it narrowly won over Empire Records.
That's cool. That's
That we should do
amazing.
Reality
Yeah.
Bites. So I'm excited that people were like kind of looking forward to this. All right, so back on to let's talk about the fashion.
Yeah. Great.
What did you think? Oh, did you? Okay, I sent Jai this video on fashion stylists from ID this morning. Did you watch it yet? I didn't watch
Yeah.
it.
Yes,
You
I
did.
watched
Okay,
it.
cool. We'll have
Yeah,
to talk later about it.
yeah, it was great actually. Yeah.
Cool. Okay,
So
I
I
got
think you like it. And yeah.
cool.
Um,
Oh yeah, the fashion.
but
What are your takes on this?
right. So I love Vicky's outfit. Like I love like a lot of the stuff that she wears. To be honest, some of it's a bit grumpy, but it's really weird. Like the opening scene where they're in the rooftop, she's
Yeah.
wearing like this floral print dress and these platforms and
And those yellow
amazing.
tights.
I don't recall. I don't know if she's wearing tights. I just
They
remember
are.
these
No, they're
these
yellow.
platforms. Oh,
They're
okay.
like yellow opaque tights. There's
Oh,
another
right.
photo of them, like, yeah, that's like not famous, but yeah, she's like yellow
Yeah,
tights.
and then she had these like sunglasses that are really big and like sort of 70s. It's weird. Like her outfit is like, sort of retro, but then she has like this amazing haircut with like really short bangs. Like I love that.
Yeah, I know it's really cool.
Yeah, and I feel like she wears like a lot of color and like prints and like which I love. But I do really, really like everything that Winona wears. Like it's just more
No,
understated. Like she's
like
more like
everything.
yeah, more androgynous. Like she's into like masculine kind of cool, like men's blazers. Like she's wearing an oversized men's jacket in one scene.
Hmm.
Um and you can totally see it's like a guy's jacket, and she wears like a little high waisted pants, like trousers that are kind of relaxed fit and just baggy things. I don't know. She's just like I just love her. Like I
I know,
do.
she's so cool.
She's so cool, and like how many people can pull off like that look of like short hair and like she's just so pretty as well. And I feel like her hair is like her whole vibe because she pretty much had short hair like for
For a long time.
90s, yeah, for a long time.
Except for, Edward Scissorhands
Yeah, but
and
she has this
in,
long
Dracula.
blonde. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
long
But I
hair.
know, was that her real hair?
No, no. I
Yeah,
don't know. I'm just saying, like, she had longer hair in those movies.
yeah. Yeah, I just really love her look. I feel like
Yeah. I love her
that would.
lipstick. I love
I
the ep
know.
I
Yeah,
love the one where she's like I think it's like my one of my favorite scenes. I guess this is like jumping ahead, but one of my favorite scenes is that scene in the club, like the day after she slept with Troy.
yeah. She looks
And
so
she's wearing
pretty
that, like,
there.
really faded black oversized shirt, and she just has on, like, red
Red
lipstick,
lipstick.
and she
Yeah, it's
just
kind of
looks so
glossy.
fucking
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, it just looks really cool.
I feel like honestly, like she's my ultimate sort of like I don't know, like if I could be anyone, like I think I would love to look like her because she has like the perfect figure. Like she can wear, she's like small but like and petite, but she's kind of curvy. She's not like skinny little thing, you know?
She's so good in Stranger Things.
I know,
She
I know.
looks the same, like, she literally
And
looks
she just wears like baggy things and like really kind of yeah, like
and I love that dress that she wore, the lace one.
at the end or like
Yeah,
not the
yeah,
end
the
where
one
she
where
gets
she
picked
goes to,
up.
like, that
Yeah.
presentation, yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's like
That was cool.
90s fashion at its finest.
I know, yeah, it is. It's like the thing about this film, which I really like, is it's super realistic. Like the way the guys dress too, it's exactly how
Yeah,
like
that's
guys dress
true.
then. Yeah, it wasn't like over the top. It was very like, no, this is totally what like guys like that wear.
Like I love the shirts that Troy wears.
Hmm.
They're kind of like sort of like 70s, honestly, like really retro.
And they're like just old, like random shirts from like a Kmart that are
Yeah,
just
that's the
washed like
thing.
a lot.
Like I
Like,
feel like they bought it at like a what do you call it here? Thrift store?
yeah, thrift store. Oh yeah, you call them
Yeah.
charity shops, right?
Well, we call it vintage stores and like charity shops.
Oh, vintage stores, yeah. Yeah, totally. He's totally like that kind of guy. I mean, oh god, I love everything about Ethan Hawke in this movie.
I
He like
know,
is
he's
like
so hot.
a dream.
It's
He like
weird
dresses
because
like a dream, like everything about him.
he's
I mean, he's
like
kind of an asshole, but
oh yeah, he is. But that's the thing, like if you really look at him, you're like he's not like a beautiful man, but he's got like I don't know, like big ears and like bad teeth and all this, but he's just really hot,
yeah,
you
he's
know?
really hot in this movie.
I think it's the attitude and the head and like just
His like greasy hair.
and he's like really confident and smart. I think that's obviously quite attractive as well.
Yeah, I
And
think
he's
it's
like
like
really smart.
yeah, I think it's his like pompous like philosopher, I'm smarter than you attitude that
Yeah.
like makes him like I think super hot. Especially the way that he interacts with Michael, like Ben Stiller's
Oh
character.
my god, I
Like so
know.
hot when he just talks
Oh
down to
my
this like
god.
yuppie asshole. He's just like, oh god, like really like oh no, you didn't even know I was quoting Cool Hand Luke. And
Yeah.
he's like, oh yeah, I know, like I'm super cool. And he's like really not. It's like
Yeah,
the
he's
best
cool.
part.
What are your favorite outfits or like
I
soundtracks
think
as well?
my favorite person I totally relate to is Winona just
Mm,
because yeah, like I would totally wear and probably do still totally wear like everything she would wear.
yeah,
I don't really
yeah,
wear
it's
makeup
true.
like she does. Like she does like I might wear lipstick maybe, but sometimes in the movie she does, sometimes she doesn't. But like I feel like I could dress like her like for the rest of my life and still be relatively fashionable.
Yeah. Oh
Um
yeah.
and like everything she wears is really classic, like just the jeans and like that. My favorite outfit I think of hers is when she does that gas scam and she has that like copper kind of shirt on with the high
Oh
waist
yeah.
and she has
Yeah,
those
that
little
is
black
so
shades
cute.
and it's like
Yeah.
really cool. Yeah, like that outfit's really cool. It's just super simple. I love Vicky.
Yeah.
Like I feel like when I was younger I had like a kind of period that I dressed like a spaz a little bit. Like, I used to wear, like, pants under my skirts and, like, really, really obnoxious, like, tight colors, like, really bright
Oh
and,
my
like
gosh,
so
yeah.
I feel like I like that a part of Vicky because I totally dressed like that for a little while and I totally was into like weird like bell bottoms and like lava lamps and like weird 70s like psychedelic type shit like she kind of is.
Yeah.
But I was a little bit younger. So I kind of like her outfits and I also used to work at Urban Outfitters. So when she works at the Gap, I was like, yeah, man, fuck yeah. I totally get it. The folding boards, everything. I was
That's
like,
so funny.
like
I
this is
know.
my life. Like this
There's so many like relatable things in the
uh-huh.
film. But yeah, it's true. I feel like same. I am a bit of both. I think I used to really wear like like vintage dresses, like from the 60s and 70s, and like purple tights, and like I mean I had like
Yeah.
tights in every color, but I feel like I wore a lot of baggy things, and I just didn't really like. I hate bodycon, and nothing that is like fitted is my thing. So it's kind of nice to wear just like a men's shirt and like you know
Yeah,
like
totally.
which I still do. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Fashion is spot on. I really like it.
Yeah, it's really cool. And the guys, I mean, the guys aren't as interesting, but I do like the way the guys dress. I mean, I don't like the way Ben Stiller dresses, but he's supposed to be like a tool. So
Yeah,
he just wears like awful business casual from the 90s,
I
that like
know.
oversized leather jacket at
That's
the
just
end with
so
like
funny.
yeah, it's just like no. And then the suits, like the very 90s type suits.
Yeah,
Like what about the music? What did you think about the music? Like
I
do you have
love the
a good song?
music. Oh my gosh, I
You
love
know, it's
it.
good, right?
It's like things that you just don't like. Bands that I don't think about anymore that I just don't really listen or have listened to for a really long time, like U2, you know? Like
Oh yeah, that's right.
U2 was cool. I mean,
I mean,
like
were they like? I mean, they've always kind of
I
been a
think
dad band. I think
no,
we've always.
they have like what's that song like With or Without You or something like
No,
that.
they have a lot, and I do own the greatest hits of you too.
Okay,
But
well,
it's always been kind of embarrassing. I went to the Pop Mart tour
oh
for
my god,
the pop tour, but I always was like super. I mean, I went with like a classmate of mine, and we were both like really embarrassed that people would find out that we went to go see you
oh
too.
my god,
And then
so
like
funny.
2 weeks later, we were talking about something in class and we like totally outed. We like said something and then we're like, oh yeah, like when they played and then someone's like, wait, what? And they're like, we went to the Pop Mart tour. And then everyone was so jealous. Like they weren't even mad. They were just like, you guys went. I can't believe you guys got to go. And like we all wanted to go. We are like, wait, but you like make fun of us for liking you too. So yeah, it's kind of weird. But yeah, you too
I
is
mean, you two in the 90s were like
in the
making
80s.
really cool music. Pardon?
In the 80s too.
The 80s, yeah, I suppose. Yeah, I mean, I just remember like listening to them in the 90s, but obviously they became like a very commercial band, and like
Yeah.
they used to just play in like huge stadiums, and I obviously don't like anything they've done from like 2000
Yeah, that
forward, basically.
beautiful
Yeah.
day thing. Oh
Um,
god.
but I love that song. Is it called Miss You or Miss Me? No, what is it called?
The one in the movie?
Oh, Stay.
Oh, the Lisa Loeb song?
Yeah, I
Oh, I
love
know.
that
Have you seen the
song.
video? Ethan Hawke directed that music video.
I heard about it. I heard
Yeah.
that they dated, yeah. And then they had like My Sharona. Like I love that song so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
Um, and I mean that's one of my favorite scenes in the film when they dance to it at the gas station in
Oh yeah.
Edinburgh.
That is really cool.
It's really cool. Yeah, the music is amazing. What are your favorite songs?
I love Dinosaur Jr. It's when
Oh
it's when
yeah,
they're like smoking weed out of that can.
yeah.
I just love Dinosaur Jr. in general, so that's a really cool one. I do like the U2 song, All I Want at the end when like that montage of her like going to run to find him. It just like fits well with that moment.
It
I
does. Yeah,
I love, love, love
Lenny.
Tempted by Squeeze when they're singing in the car, like, I put my shirt on. And
Oh
they're like singing
yeah,
when they get in that accident.
yeah.
Like, that's a really good song.
You see,
I
I'm not
love
familiar
Ethan
with those
Hawke.
bands. Oh yeah, he
I
sings.
love
Oh my
like Ethan
gosh.
Hawke singing. I think we're made that on a mixtape. It's the like it's called I'm Nothing. It's on the soundtrack of Ethan Hawke singing. And then I love his like Violent Femmes cover when she
Yeah.
blows him off and then he like does that that cover in the club. I love that whole like
Like he's
scene.
got cool, like really great voice, like really just cool, like sort of grungy. Like I can totally see him in a band, you know?
Totally. He's like the actor version of like the grunge era. He's
Yes,
like not a musician, but he like looks like he could be, and it's like in the same like time period.
yeah,
Like Johnny
exactly.
Depp.
Yeah, you know something actually quite random, but um, there is a song that's played in the film. I can't really remember the scene. I had to like rewatch it and tell you, but it's this like when I when I heard it, I was like, I know that sound. I didn't know the song, but I knew that sound really well, and it's a Mexican band, and it's so weird.
Which one?
Like it's not, it doesn't make it to the soundtrack, but I remember like
Oh,
thinking, wait, that sounds familiar. I never heard the song because obviously I was really young then, but I heard the just the style and the singer's voice, and then
oh
I
no
wait.
way.
It's in the credits, so you can you go back to the credits, and there is a song by a group called Maldita Vecindad.
Okay, I'm gonna look it up.
And yeah, and it's just kind of funny because they were like a really amazing band, like
Oh
the
wow. Where are
band that
they
I was
from?
into, Mexico City. Yeah,
Oh, cool.
yeah. So it's just funny and random, you know,
I'm
because
gonna
yeah,
write it
it doesn't make it to the soundtrack for some reason. I guess it's not in any kind of major scene. It's just kind
in
of
the
in the
background.
background. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
cool.
Anyway, yeah,
Yeah, that's all I had about the music. I just like also a really weird note about the film in general. Like this is also back when like smoking was relatively like air quotes
yes.
cool,
Look, people
and everyone could just smoke and be kind of chill about it. Like people's parents were smoking. Obviously, like Ethan Hawke and Winona are smoking, but now it's like no one smokes at
I
all.
know. You know what? Like, it actually made me really sad because it's like I know smoking is bad for you, but no matter what anyone says, like
Yeah, it's
we,
a really awful habit.
it is, but it just felt so good. Like
Yeah, I
just
mean, in
having that
film,
cigarette, you know, and
yeah,
obviously I haven't smoked in years, but that cigarette, like when you're drinking at home with your friends, I mean, not
yeah.
one cigarette, but like many,
If
but
only it did. If only it didn't do anything to you, then
yeah,
it would be
like,
so
do
bad.
you have, you know, can I just mention this? It's probably, I hope that my friends are not listening because it sounds kind of bad, or my husband. But, you know, it's like that cigarette you have in the morning after sex.
Uh-huh.
That was like the best.
Well, what replaces that now? Do people just vape? Is that
I
like what
guess.
is that just like what people do
It's
since
just
they
not
like
as cool, sorry, but
no,
yeah. Like, I mean, I know that shouldn't really glamorize like smoking anymore, but
don't do it, people. It's really lame if you're
it's
young.
really bad for you. But, you know, I'm glad that I did it. I got it out of my system, and now I'm like super
Yes,
healthy. So,
like no, I just couldn't. There's no way. But the thing is in some kind of films, because I mean, one of my life goals is to make a film someday. But what if I write a character who just is a smoker? Like that is a character trait. You know what I
yes.
mean? Like,
Hmm.
and in some films now that people still smoke. It's not like no one does. Obviously, in Peaky Blinders, like, granted, it was in the
Well,
20s,
well,
so
that's
like you would
different,
be
yeah.
smoking.
But
But I
I
mean,
don't think
but even now, you think in a contemporary, I'm trying to think of a contemporary film that's come out where like the person's smoking, where it's
I
supposed to
can't
be
think
like,
of any modern film. I
yeah,
honestly can't think of. I mean, people smoke. I suppose joints, you know, like weed and
yeah,
stuff,
I guess,
but not cigarettes. I don't
yeah.
know.
I just had like back when smoking was cool, LOL, in my notes. And I also
I was,
like there's so much that's so funny, and I feel like that's probably like Ben Stiller because he just is really funny, and
yeah.
like so much of the film is so funny. I can't even list all the funny
It
things.
is.
Like,
Oh my god, there's so many funny like well lines. I have like favorite lines more
oh
than
yeah, what are your favorite lines more than scenes?
I mean, both, but I feel like there's so many great lines. Like I love when the dad when they're like it's right at the beginning and they're at the restaurant and they're
Yeah.
talking about the film, no, the cars, right?
Hmm.
And he's like, I'll take the BMW, and then I find another car that I find another car that like a real car or something.
Oh, like a regular car.
Like a
Yeah,
regular
I'll
car.
take that car. Yeah, it's like until I can afford to buy a regular car.
Yeah, but then I love when Lelena like says that the big gulp is the best invention of her lifetime.
Oh
Like
yeah.
she's like, yeah, this is like the best invention of our lifetime. You get your essential vitamins and nutrients for the whole day. It's like, and he's like, you drink that in the morning, and she's like, yeah. And then you see her in another scene, like when they're in the hotel and it's really early in the morning and she's drinking wine and it's
Yeah,
so disgusting. And it's just really funny. And then obviously when they dance in the food market, not food
oh
market,
yeah, yeah.
like gas station. Oh, is it called food mart? Uh-uh.
Yeah, that's just the name of that particular one. Yeah, but they're usually
Okay.
called like Food Mart or something like random.
But I love that line when Michael comes over to pick her up and Troy is just on the couch and like he comments on her outfit and she's like, oh, I'm gonna change. And then Michael was like, no, you look great. And there's like a lot of tension obviously because Troy made like a funny comment. And then
Mhm.
Michael says, what is your glitch?
Oh yeah,
And
that's what that, that's always been like the funniest thing, and that is a possibility for a
oh my
title for
god, that's
the episode. I
so
have
funny. And
other
he's like,
titles.
my glitch. It's
I
just,
know.
I don't even think I ever heard that. Honestly, I
Really?
don't
Oh,
think
no,
I
you
have.
just think all
No. And then he says, and then Troy says, um, they're like arguing, and then just before Michael and Elena leave, he's like, do you know what? You don't know what she needs. And Michael says, I know what she needs in a way you will never know, but you will never will, or something like
Mhm.
that. And it's just so funny. Like, I mean, it's not funny, but it's just really intense, you know?
Yeah, it is pretty funny. I do love that. I love that whole I love their whole exchange.
Yeah, me
I love
too.
when I love my one of my favorite scenes. I have a few. Um, I love the presentation to In Your Face TV when they like fucked up her footage
Oh my god, yeah.
and they made it like this really horrible real world. It was just like really cheesy and like so bad and like
It
just
was
so
so
lame.
bad.
And he was just like, "What? Like, what's wrong?" she, and then this also ties into another funny part is the bit like near the credits. Did you watch like after the credits?
Oh my god, Tony Robbins.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And the motivational speaker is that Tony Robbins?
That is Tony Robbins,
Oh
yeah.
my god,
So
that's
funny.
yeah. That's what we were talking about. We were talking about Tony Robbins.
Oh my god,
But
so
like,
funny.
yeah, that part is so funny when it shows like the thing that he put together. And,
Yeah,
like and
yeah.
Michael Grace, like, did something that was, like, their relationship essentially, which I thought was really funny.
It was so
And
bad.
then I just love any exchange between Troy and Michael.
I
Like, and I
know.
love that he just consistently, like, cuts him down and just, like, lets him know that he's, like, way smarter than him and just, like, so much better in every way. I
Yeah.
just I just love their complete interaction. I love his, like yeah, it's where he tells her that she looks like a doily. And then she's like, "I'm
Yes.
gonna go change," and he was like,
It was
"No, I
so
think you look
funny.
good." And Ethan Hawke's like, "Yeah, don't go thinking for yourself, Lainey."
Yeah, like
Like,
I feel
he wants
that
to change.
he's obviously a douche in so many ways, but he's really smart and witty, and like he says things like, I don't know, he's just always so smart. Like,
"I'm sorry if I stepped over the line of sand and coolness with you.
oh yeah.
Sorry I can't be Buddha on the mountaintop." He's like, "I'm sorry I can't live off, like, credence and, like, just ideals. I live in the real world."
Oh my god. I like, you know when they're at the bar and then Michael gets it and then she's in the middle of both, right? And then Troy says, what's happened? Do you have like a frog in your throat? What's happened?
Mhm.
Like he's just like really pushy and like just feels really real. Like
Yeah.
genuinely like I don't know, you just feel like you're in the middle of two guys and you're like, oh my god, this is crazy.
What's
Like
gonna happen? Who's she
what's
gonna
gonna
choose?
happen?
I know.
So
It's
many
real
funny lines. Yeah.
yeah, there are lots of good ones. I just really like any time that they interact together. I just I love them. I love the graduation scene too, where they're just on the top and
Oh
it's just
yeah.
all on the roof and there's just like all that really like funny banter, like back and forth. Like I really like that. I love how it's told with like videos that she's making of her friends. Like I
Yeah,
really like that. That's
I
like
really like that too. Yeah,
cool.
it's just a really cool story. I like
Yeah, it is cool.
it's just the characters feel very like real and genuine, and like people that you know, like you can like identify with and stuff. It's cool. Like
Mhm. I'm glad. I'm so glad you liked it. I'm so glad that it was like a new one for you.
yeah, it was honestly like a real treat. I was like, it's so nice to see something old for the first time. You know?
Yeah, I was gonna say, have you ever seen Empire Records? Because that's apparently what people want next.
I don't know.
Oh, the record store.
I
Oh,
don't
it's
remember.
a classic. If you haven't seen it, you're in for a good one. It's really
Okay,
funny.
cool. Yeah. Well, now I have HBO. I can probably find a lot of things.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm gonna look. I it might be on Netflix, but I'll have to
Okay.
look.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, do you have any more final thoughts on it?
I mean, just like I love how they capture the 90s in so many ways. Like, obviously, I don't know, like fashion and like just what people were into, like
Melrose.
MTV, and like,
She talks about, she's like, I feel like I'm the HIV AIDS character, like Janine Garofalo, she's like waiting for her test. She's like, I feel like I'm on Melrose Place and I'm like the neighbor. And like I'm there to let people know it's okay to talk to me, and then I die. And then everyone's like at my funeral wearing like halter tops and chokers or some shit.
yeah,
And then
it's
she's like,
funny.
Melrose Place is a really good show.
That's the thing. So many. I actually watched that. I watched that show when I was young, pretty
I never
young.
could get into it. I watched 90210.
I was like, how can I like this? These are like I can't relate to these people, this story. I'm only like 8 or 9, and like I shouldn't be
Yeah.
watching this. But and I also really love when they say, "Oh, I work at the Gap." It's like
Hmm.
Gap. I mean, that was like such a 90s thing because they were huge, right? But
Yeah.
then obviously I don't know any stuff, and it's very different in the UK because it's like American. But I can imagine like
It was everywhere.
here it was like, oh yeah, it's such a cool thing. I guess. I mean, was
I
it
don't know if
cool?
they
I
were
don't
like,
know.
I mean, they were just like mainstream. I don't know that they were like cool. I mean, they definitely had a lot of ads. It was the first time you started seeing a lot of like commercials and like print ads. There were always Gap
Mm,
ads around. And
yeah,
they just had like a different look, I guess. Like the way their aesthetic was, it just looked really different to sell basics. But they were
yeah,
just basics. I mean, that's really all they were. But it
yeah.
was
I don't know.
pretty big though, I guess, like
Yeah, it's
fairly
pretty big. Yeah,
big.
I
Yeah.
suppose. Yeah.
Those
Um.
denim shirts she was wearing, those like denim sleeveless shirts.
Oh my god. Yeah. I mean,
No big
that outfit
deal.
was so frumpy, but I don't
Yeah,
like
with
it. But
the khakis.
I mean, I definitely wore stuff like that. Long shorts and like
Like so unflattering.
so flattering. Yeah, because they also used to be high waisted and they have darts at the front, and they always make
Yeah,
you look like you have a belly. If you're
yeah.
more
But
like skinny.
now it's like high waist or nothing. It's like no one's wearing any fucking
Well,
clothes.
low waist is coming back.
No,
Although, yeah, jeans. Ugh,
no,
it's
no.
horrible, disgusting. I am not ready for that. Like
Not ready. I'm gonna have
2001
to buy like in bulk.
Britney. Like,
Buy some high waisted jeans before they stop making them.
I mean, that could be one of the worst sort of fashion.
Of the
Um, like
2000s.
time. Like, yeah, it was disgusting. It was like
2000s.
Paris Hilton and like Britney
Oh,
really defined that era. Like
those
with their
jean sweatsuits. I never had those, but
really, yeah, they were like really like slutty dresses in like what was it like?
yeah,
Were they like sequin or tassels or something? I don't know. They're like gold and silver, and they're like
yeah,
tiny dresses. And obviously, Britney used to wear those really low jeans that
oh yeah. Like, and then Mariah had those ones where like the top was cut,
oh yeah,
like
yeah.
the
Well,
top
I
of
think
the jeans. Like there was no like belt loop. It was just like the buttons.
yeah. I mean, it is really crazy to think that we were. I mean, I didn't wear the gold dress, but I definitely had jeans like that.
I
And it's
definitely
kind
had
of
like
like
low rise jeans.
it's
Yeah,
terrible to think that I ever wore that. Yeah.
yeah.
Um.
I couldn't even
Yeah,
imagine. I was
that's
just like,
like the
oh,
worst fashion sort of trend. I think in my opinion, one of the worst. No, actually, well, it's kind of the same time. You know, they have songs, and like you wear a
Oh,
song and
oh,
really
and you
low
can see
cut,
it. Ew, that's so.
and you could see the smell. It's disgusting. Like
Yeah,
that's
no,
terrible. Yeah,
yeah,
never.
no. That's like,
Anyway, but yeah, no, I think the film, just anyone out there who's like a '90s lover, definitely needs to watch it.
yeah, it's got a lot of great one lines. Like,
Yes,
yeah, it just has a lot of great quotes. It's just a really quotable movie.
I'm definitely going to be saying, do you have a glitch?
What's your glitch?
What is
What's
your glitch?
your glitch?
Well, yeah, it's kind of weird. I never heard that before.
Has your husband seen it?
Who?
Has your husband seen it?
Oh, that sounds so serious. Husband.
Oh, I didn't know if he said his name or not. I could say,
Yeah, like, Matthew.
yeah, okay. Oh, I didn't know if he wanted to say his name, but okay, cool.
Yeah,
People use fake
yeah.
names on podcasts. Oh, he
And
has seen it. Okay, cool.
I
I
think,
figured he probably had.
honestly, just because I think it's more like, because I'm not American and I didn't grow up here, and
Yeah, I
like
was gonna
I
say
just
this.
haven't watched a lot, because a lot of people seen films just because they've been on TV, you know, just like while growing up and stuff. But obviously, I didn't have that, so I feel like so many movies that I just never even heard of.
Crazy. That's
Yeah.
cool though. Yeah, that means there's a lot to come.
Mhm. Yeah.
Sweet. Alrighty. Well, I think this is we're near the end here. It's been almost an hour. I hope everybody made it to the end of this. If you did, then awesome. Like, subscribe, do the whole thing, and write a review because don't people have given like stars. Like, I've got
Oh
5 stars, but
no.
I need some reviews. Like, I need some
Yes, I
feedback.
don't know why people forget to do that. It's like they just
Yeah,
do
people
films.
just
It's
write
not.
like a sentence. It doesn't matter. And even if it's shit, I just want to know. I really just want to know. So yeah, I hope you like this new audio setup. I hope this sounds better than our previous one. So yeah, we got a new setup going on here.
Yeah, you got
So
all this like amazing equipment.
I know I got a basic mic, very basic, did not spend a lot of money, and we've got software. So I've got just a bit more work to do, but try to get this out in like 2 days. So you'll have more to listen to.
Yay.
And then we have to do
Okay.
like a Tiger King recap at some point. Maybe we'll just do like 15 or 20 minutes. So it's a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah, I think
I don't want to watch it
so.
again. It's like
I
I'm not.
can't watch it again. It was
Yeah,
just
it's like, I
like
don't
a
want to watch it
big
again, but
investment. But
I'll
yeah.
do a poll. I'll do a poll actually because if no one really cares, if you're just kind of sick of it, then we won't do one. I don't really care. But if it's some overwhelming need, then fine. But yeah, we don't have to do one if people don't really care. People might be
Yeah.
sick of it by this
Maybe
point.
do a poll.
There is a new episode dropping. Maybe we could talk about that. A new one I think is coming this week or
Okay,
next.
yeah. Yeah, let's
Maybe
do
we
that.
can just do that. We'll talk about our feelings thus far and then just the new one and talk about the new one because that'll
Yeah,
be new. Cool.
cool.
Awesome. Well, we'll see you on the next one and we hope you have a good one.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.